Listen, I want to talk to you about Conor Benn because he came out yesterday with a very long statement. He said, what I don't get, he said his team have proved his innocence and the truth will come out soon. Now, if they have proved his innocence, why is he holding this proof back? I don't really understand that.
Yeah, well, I can reveal to you, I've spoken to the Boxing Board of Control today, and without them giving me any details on what's exactly going on, they say they don't know what he's on about because the case isn't over. And I suspect this is a move to put out advice from his lawyer to put this out there because they've put their case forward, whatever their case is, because we don't know what their case is. He's still claiming contamination with the 2 positive tests for clomiphene, one in July and one in September, ahead of the fight with Chris Eubank Jr. that obviously scuppered the fight. Chris Eubank Jr., by the way, 3 emojis, sleeping emojis, yawning emojis in response to that statement, as if to say, not sure I believe all this. I don't think the case is cut and dried yet. It's simply, I think it's a PR move in mounting of his defence.
Gareth, let me ask you, have both samples, A and B sample, been tested yet? I know one of them has. Has the other one?
We don't know anything about the B sample because no one will reveal what's gone on with the B sample. As we've said several times, I'm sure I've said it on air with you, the B sample is the same as the A sample. It's taken at the same time. I don't think it has come forward. We don't know because they won't tell us anything.
So when is the next thing? When is the next step? When is the next announcement from either the governing body in the world of boxing or Conor Benn's camp?
Well, my understanding is that UKAD are not in a position to make a statement on it yet. The Boxing Board of Control aren't ready to make a statement on it yet. All I know is that the lawyers from both sides, or from those 3 parties, are all talking to each other still as they assess the case. It's not cut and dried. But what I wonder is, with that long statement, whether Benn's team believe that they will get some kind of resolution soon. But that's not what I'm hearing from the other side. Whether they've taken that case, because one of the tests was with the WBC testing program, and one obviously was with VADA. So I wonder whether they've taken their case to one of those bodies and are trying to get exonerated in those bodies, and then they're going to put out a statement and then force that on UKAD and the Boxing Board of Control. That's the only thing I can think in terms of working out what's going on here. But I think this case is far from over.
Wow. Gareth, I want to take you back to Usyk. I mean, we just spoke about the WBA saying he's got to fight Daniel Dubois, but also the IBF have ordered him to fight Filip Hrgovic. I mean, how does this all work? Like, it's all very complicated.
Yeah, the first mandatory to come up is the WBA in timing-wise. The next one to come up is the WBO, and then obviously after that the IBF. And the way it works, it's very hard to hold on to all the belts unless you actually fight the mandatories or fight undisputed or unifications. They've got to get this fight over the line with Fury and have it announced and have a date and a place and all those things. We believe it's Saudi Arabia, but there's been nothing, forthcoming yet. I mean, I know Frank Warren's not available yet this week. I know he's been poorly. I mean, he's getting operated on. It's not life-threatening, I don't think. He's had a bad back. And, Bob Arum's back in America. But I think this week or late last week, both Fury's team and Usyk's team had spoken to talkSPORT, I think, on one of the other shows, saying that there's absolute movement forward for all of them. I just think they're waiting to see what monies are available from the Middle East, and then they're going to sign the contract. Fury's come out today and said, I don't know if you've seen that, said he might fight Usyk twice, while a story, Anthony Joshua interviewed by GQ, he's saying, and I don't really see this as having any veracity, that a better fight for him right now is Dillian Whyte rather than Tyson Fury, because Dillian Whyte brings more swag, North London versus South London. I'll tell you what, all these boys have been on the glue vine because it's Christmas silly season for me at the moment.
Because Gareth, I was going to ask you, surely that's nonsense. Surely for AJ, the biggest fight on the planet is Fury, not Dillian Whyte.
The biggest fights on the planet for Anthony Joshua are Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. They're both huge. So is Joyce, actually. That's a big fight for him as well. But he needs to get back to winning ways, and I expect that Eddie Hearn will put him in with the likes of Dillian White next, and maybe Deontay Wilder this year. But I think he should be really trying to push to have a fight with Tyson Fury before it's too little too late.
Okay. Do you think that will happen this year or next year, 2023?
No, I don't.
No, I don't.
No, I think what we saw the other night when we were on the outside broadcast for talkSPORT on a wonderful night at Spurs. I've never ever been to an event outdoors in the winter, certainly not with 60,000 people there. I can't even remember doing a winter or outdoor event in that way. Is that, there's a massive fight to be made with Usyk, obviously, who's the trickiest heavyweight out there, apart from Fury in terms of his movement and mastery. He may end up being a little bit too small for Fury, but it'll still be an interesting fight. And then there's Joyce, whose stock and star has risen in the last year, and I expect Fury to fight those two guys next year, one at Wembley and one in the Middle East.
Yeah, Fury against Joyce will be. It's going to be fascinating, isn't it?
I want to see Joshua Wilder. That's the fight I want to watch.
So do I.
And Joshua Wilder, it's huge.
Yeah.
Look, it's been a really weird year, 2023. We haven't got the fights we've wanted. Errol Spence and Terence Crawford still haven't fought each other. The lightweight division with Ryan Garcia, Vasyl Lomachenko, Devin Haney, all those guys hasn't ignited. We haven't had the heavyweight fights we want. It's been on off. 2023 will be a fantastic year, I believe, because I think a lot of big fights will be made.
Okay. Gareth, we're going to let you go. It's close to midnight, so we won't keep you any longer. I know you've got a piano lesson coming up as well soon. So thank you for coming on. And if we don't speak to you before, I'm sure we will, but if we don't, happy Christmas.
I'll have a very Merry Christmas. It's starting to feel a lot like Christmas.
It is.
Cheers, Gareth.
See you soon, Gareth.
Cheers.